Monday morning here today. We are working on this construction project here, connecting our milking barn to our heifer barn. I showed you guys a little bit of this project here in the last video. So last week, Thursday, they poured the floor in this manure gutter that runs into the barn here. And then Friday morning, they set up the forms for the walls for the first section, essentially 100 feet inside the milking barn, so just about to the outside of that barn. So they put up 200 feet worth of forms in the morning, and then they poured that Friday. A concrete truck showed up around 4 o'clock and poured those walls Friday, and then stripped them Saturday morning, and then we backfilled Sunday afternoon. They're prepping the floor here now, and I think concrete's coming here this afternoon to pour floors in that section. So I'm optimistic if they got concrete here this afternoon, which we got an inch of rain yesterday and it's actually raining at the moment, so probably not a lot of concrete being poured here today. So they should be able to get concrete today, get that floor poured, and I'd asked them to use some concrete that sets up faster, some high early, so that hopefully we can start moving some cows back into these pens Wednesday. So that put those cows out of those pens. Today was a week and 1 day, so a week and 2 or 3 days that those cows have to be out of those pens. They still have they're gonna have to do the rest of these walls in 2 sections. So they're going to do from just about 20 feet inside that barn up to about where I am here. That'll be the next section that they'll pour. And I don't think I mentioned it in the last video, but I did film a little bit of it. I was putting floor heat tubes down on insulation, because this outside section, it's not going to be outside anymore here, but this connecting alley connecting the barns, because there's no cows in there all the time, we're a little concerned that we might have freezing in this trough. So just as a precaution, we're running floor heat tubes in the floor and then in the side walls, running back to this mechanical room so that we can hook up a boiler if we feel we need to do that. Because it's better to put the tubes in now and not need them than not put them in and then have a bunch of issues this winter. But they're going to try to get that section of walls formed here so I can run the tubes in the walls and back to that room, and then we'll backfill that. Then they're going to start on the then they're going to start on this connecting building essentially. So raining here at the moment again, but our guys, the concrete guys, they busted their butts on Friday to get those walls set up, formed, and poured. And then our guys busted their butts yesterday backfilling all that so it'd be ready to go, and they showed up here at 6 a.m. this morning. That essentially saves us a day and a half, because they don't have to then backfill all that wall, get it tamped down. We used rock so that we could just keep moving along quickly here to get those cows back in the pens as quickly as possible. But I see they're moving their concrete buggy inside, so concrete must be on their way here or getting close anyways. So because we had an inch of rain, and we had to cut this drain that runs along the outside of the barn. So there's a drain that runs here. Same with on that barn, all that water went that way. For these 2 sections here, we are going to end up cutting that over to the middle and then out that way is the plan. But obviously that's not done yet, so all this rain ends up coming down into this gutter. So I decided what we should do is come through, fill all the sides of this concrete in with rock so that we don't have any of that wash away underneath the floor here. So now this water, in theory, I mean, some of the water will go in the rock, but all this water will stay up on top, and this actually slopes down that way. And we were able to see that work last night, because this water was running that way pretty quick. Down at the end where it goes into our manure system, this gutter was just about half full of water, and it was running that way. But we're just about done here, close to the end. just have this little bit left to do, and we're gonna build it up a little bit to try to force that water into the gutter here. couple days later here, we moved the cows back in the south barn here on Wednesday. It's Saturday here today. Just wanted to show you guys. So the gutter goes through here, and we found some 3x3x8 grass hay bales. My brother-in-law Tyler helped me get the phone number of a farmer that I knew made those bales. That's about an hour from us here. So we were able to find some grass hay bales that fit in that gutter. Because the chain and scraper for this gutter are not here yet, but we wanted to get cows back in these pens. And the grates are also not here yet for the top. So we thought this would be a good way to get that gutter closed so we can move cows across. So we put bales in the gutter, we put plywood on top, and then we had some rubber mats still laying around that we laid on top of them. So we are currently scraping the manure to the center alley and then just scraping it into to the reception pit over there. We open these gates up and just push right into the trench here, right into the gutter. And I don't know if you would have noticed it on the videos, but we did not groove this concrete. And it's actually recessed about an inch down because we will be putting rubber mats on this concrete here all the way through this area, through this barn, and all the way through the connecting alley to our heifer barn. So the cows will be walking on rubber flooring here as they're going back and forth to the parlor and to our hoof trimmer, essentially. We thought if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it, because we could just lower that concrete an inch and then put the rubber floor on top of that, and then it would match up with the existing concrete in the barns here. So we were able to scrape up to here, so we still have to move the manure from that manure alley over to this one to get it scraped out. But that's not a huge deal. We've been doing this here now, well, three days, I suppose. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. Hopefully the concrete crew left for the weekend. They took the weekend off. They poured the rest of the walls here Wednesday afternoon, stripped them Thursday, and they headed home. They'll be back Monday. So we are working on backfilling inside the heifer barn at the moment. Maybe we'll be able to backfill outside here tomorrow, but we had a little over 2 inches of rain over the last week. So I for sure want to get done everything inside the barns that's under a roof, so that when they get back here on Monday, they could potentially pour some of this flooring on Monday, for sure Tuesday, and keep things moving here. We've been pumping some water, having to pump some water. We do have rock filled in about a foot or so of the way up on either side, and then we have foam insulation stuck to the sides here, just on this section here. I think, I mean, depending on weather, the weather looks pretty good here next week, so hopefully they can just about get all the concrete done here. If they're really organized, I think they could get it all done, but we'll see how things go here once they get back. For sure, by the following week, they'll be able to wrap up all the concrete. And then we are going to frame that little room ourselves where all the electrical and stuff is going. And then it'll just be waiting for the steel structure of this connecting alley to show up. Then we have to tie the curtains back in on the barns. And yeah, probably some odds and ends once we get to that point, but making some progress. Go, Eli, go, go, go. Because of the over 2 inches of rain that we've had, we have not chopped any corn at this point. The corn is not the corn's not quite ready anyways, but I'm hoping at some point here next week we can get in the fields and get started. I would imagine by the middle or end of next week, some of the first fields will definitely be ready to go. So we kind of need things to dry out here because it's plenty wet here at the moment. Jason, our custom harvesting guy, he He did order, or he did buy another trailer and tractor. He's got 3 already, and we've got a dump wagon that we can put a tractor on. What did you say? Yeah, we can clean them. We have a dump wagon ourselves too, but hopefully once we get fields opened up and the sun can get to the ground, it'll dry it out enough that we can also get trucks going, because it'd be nice to have 2 choppers going versus 1, just so that we can make some progress. But more than likely we'll be dealing with some mud in some areas.
Yeah, I'm really dirty.
Yeah, it looks like it, bro. But we'll see how things look here in a few days. I haven't looked at the corn here the last 4 or 5 days either, just because of how muddy it is. We'll let things dry out a little more and then look at some fields again. We might start with earlage.
Papa, did you see how far I went?
Yeah, I did.
No, did the camera.
Yep, keep going. I'll film you. Keep going.
Mama, I'm really dirty and I
Oh, your back's really dirty too.
I'm gonna be my brother. You know, I'm gonna go to a world race with my bike.
He's already going. You better catch him.
And I'm gonna use my bike to race the race cars next year.
But yeah, I think we'll end the video here. If you guys have questions, comments, post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.